Sanibona nonke emakhaya kalibitho kikutlwana ga Modiba Ngotshiya Gangema, known as Strawberry, and welcome to Iziki. Please help me welcome our special guest today. Developer Paugai.
Hello, Kishap. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Please tell our viewers for Omang, Wakogai. Yeah, thank you.
Well, this is Ivan, the rock star, as popularly known, but my real name is Ivan Ndlovu. And thank you for having me here.
As Ivan the rock star because of the Ivan that we know from the movies, the Ivan that was a rock star for real, or because Vele Omo Kodi Katare.
I think the rock star came in with the type of personality that I present to the people out there. It's a
Okay.
name that became there for a longest time, many decades, I think 2 decades ago. So Ivan Rockstar is just a nickname that was given to me.
Oh, okay, nice. So Ivan, please tell us, take us back Kanyana, about yourself. Ogola ko gae, o godiswa ke mang, maybe your siblings, just in a brief nyana.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. Do I talk to you guys or do I talk to her?
Talk to me. Ba go utlwile ke. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ivan Rockstar is a guy wakokasi. I'm a very jolly good fella, people's person, but that was not presented to the people before the tragedy that occurred to me.
Okay.
So I had a tragedy that made people become aware of who I am.
you.
Understand me?
Yes.
But that's not something that I'm proud of. I want to be known for something else, which is why I turned lemons into lemonade. So yeah, Ivan Rockstar is just a guy from Kowatville in Binoni, known as his friend.
Yes.
And I'm very, very happy to be here, guys. I've got a very, very sad story to tell, but that's not what I'm very,
You are all
very
about.
all about. And I'm not happy to be telling that story for me to be known. I've got
Yes.
more details than that sad story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So unale bana ba kwa eno, unale magao tatagao,
Yes, I'm survived.
grandmother, because they rekhutswa ke bogogo bona ba ba.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I'm survived by a very, very strong lady known as Rebecca Koza. And then me being Ivan, I would have been a Koza if I took my mother's surname.
Yes.
The mighty Orlando Pirates chairman.
So
I would have been Ivan Koza as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know you're born for to be famous, I guess.
I am. So fortunately, I took my father's surname, which is Ndlovu. So I'm Ivan Ndlovu. I've got siblings. I'm one of 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, yo, I thought just only brothers, okay.
My biological mother, had 5 sons only.
Yo,
And the sisters come from my stepmothers.
go tswa dikgomo di kene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm one of them, and I'm in the middle. I've got 2 big brothers, which are called Puti, and I've
Yes.
got two
Too
other
small.
brothers who calls me Puti.
Yes.
So I'm in the middle. That makes me a very special kind of a breed. So yeah, I'm one of 5 brothers who's been the most unfortunate in the family. Understand me? Ivan is the kind of guy who has lost his father at the age of 14 years old during my farewell in primary school when I was in grade 7.
Going to grade 8.
Yes, I lost my father who was brutally murdered.
Oh,
And
may
so
his soul rest in peace.
thank you. So I became a very, very sad person at an early age. And in grade 7, I was about to go to high school. So I got to high school. I was a very depressed, dejected kid. And yeah, I learned to live with that for a longest time, but I couldn't get over it because my father was coming from work and he was sadly attacked by thugs. And they wanted to rob him. They robbed him. I don't know whether they got what they wanted, but still they murdered him. So I was trying to learn to live with that situation that I have a father who was brutally murdered. It was very, very painful. As you might know, it might create anger to one's heart. And as I was trying to live with that, I'm telling you, 20 years later, I've become a father. And it's the first time experience, and I'm very, very excited about that. I changed how I present myself to society. I changed how I dress. I changed how I look. I changed how I perceive and characterize myself.
Okay,
You
before we
understand me?
get to 20 years later,
Yes.
now you lose your father when you go into high school.
Yes.
Remember, that's when now your teenage itomankoteni,
Yeah.
the peer pressure, if there was any, and then so to and everything else.
Yeah.
How did that affect you? Did it make you maybe what you say wrong with the code gangsterism and all that, or no, you were still as disciplined?
Luckily, I have 2 elder brothers, which I mentioned earlier on.
Yes.
So they were able to guide me because they were much older.
Than
So I wasn't that depressed. Yes, I was very sad for losing a father. He was a great gentleman. He was the best that you can ever wish for. But I had two elder brothers who were coping so well with the situation, so I had to learn to go in the same path and the same road with them. So I was sad, but it didn't make me lose any direction. So I went to high school, but the situation at home changed because you had a father who was doing everything, providing you, giving you imali yokukhera ekuseni mafuna imali.
5 o'clock uyazi ukhala umnyango
Exactly,
uyangena
yeah.
ekuseni uyazi ukuthi siphuma sonke.
That's it. You
Yes.
understand me? And then you have a situation whereby more high school, because that happened in November 2004 when he passed on.
And already I guess you guys had plans for
We
your high
had
school
plans,
with him.
exactly. Ngiyapasa esikoleni, I'm a bright kid, go grade 7. Next year I'm supposed to go to high school. So most of the high schools you're doing things that you never used to do before. You are following on cues about the feeding scheme, what we call, whereby they feed people with bad
Yes.
circumstances and situations back at
Yes.
home. So I had to learn to put into queue abantu abafuna isinkwa esikoleni, ama-feeding scheme like that. It was very, very elusive, difficult in a manner. So, but I had to do it because dad was no longer there, and mom is someone on a background of a good education. She has to start selling food for her
For
to
a
keep us
living,
going.
yeah.
You understand me? So it was difficult in high school. Obviously, self-confidence was then affected. You understand? From umntana was primary school, ono baba o famous, baba o right, baba o clean, baba o to high school, whereby you must now start barbecue, abantu
Adjust,
abangana
yeah.
mix. So it was very, very elusive. It was very, very difficult for me to adjust. But I pushed on.
But I must say that your mother's very lucky to have a son like you, because I think after that tragedy babako, you could have been anything.
Yeah.
And remember, Guti, some of us as kids, peer pressure, we deal with it in ngendlela ezihlukile.
Yeah.
Now ngabe uthi ko di drugsing, ngabe uthi ko ganyeng,
Yeah.
ngabe u give up ko lifing,
Yeah.
but you pushed on.
Yes.
So I think as much as she was a disciplined mother who was responsible, because that's how you are here today, because of those upbringings as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you also made her strong.
Yes.
Because remember, yeah, that's gonna act strong for you. But ko kamereng wala. But I you like how you are able to say, but God, thank you for these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice. I can
Would you like to give a shout out to your mom?
shout out mother. I know she said you are lucky because you have me, but I feel lucky because I have you. My mother is everything that anyone could ever wish for. She's so amazing. I think I'm here because of her. You understand me? But it's a story for another day.
Yes.
But yeah, high school, we pushed through it because I had two big brothers. And the saddest part came when I couldn't go to my metric dance because I passed very well at school. I was a very, very bright kid.
Yes.
Ngapasa kamnandi, but because of the situation I say I couldn't go to metric dance. And I remember very, very well, I went to the back of the house, Makhanj, on metric dance, and I cried. And my mom came and hugged me as kissing Tanam. We didn't have money for them to finance me with things into metric dance. I didn't go to my metric dance as much as I didn't go to a farewell party because farewell was supposed to be in December and dad dies in November. So no farewell party for a metric for a grade 7
Yes.
learner or Pumayo, and no metric dance for a standard grade 12 or Pumayo. One was because of a death in the family, and the other one is because of a situation in the family. Fast forward, I'm still dealing with my father's painful circumstances every year. Makfigi 70 is November. I'm like, this is the day that daddy died. Every time we figure E5 is February, this is the day that daddy was born. So I always grieve, I always cry. I'm
Wow.
a very emotional person.
My two daughters were born on the 5th of February.
Aquarius.
Yes.
So it's been a difficult journey, and while I was trying to adjust with that, then there comes the worst part of my life, and all the things and everything that I watch on movies occurred in my life, and I couldn't believe it. You understand me? You have a father who's being brutally murdered. Fast forward, you have a daughter who's murdered as well,
Sure.
and then you
Please,
think to yourself,
please take us through. Let's go back to
Yeah.
you now. 20. That's on the 20 years later. Remember, Kideka stop 20 years later.
Yes,
or,
yes.
As I was changing, becoming a better man, becoming this. Is that now 20 years later?
It's actually, I think it's 18 years later because daddy dies on the 2004.
Yes.
And daughter dies in 2022.
Yeah, but that's
One can
nearly
do the
20
math
years.
there. It's almost
Yeah.
there, yes, yes.
Okay, please take us back.
There comes a time in 2018, the 12th of January. I'm gifted with a very, very beautiful baby girl. And yeah, You can imagine when you become a parent, it's either a feeling is very depressing or it's very, very exciting. You are filled with euphoria, that excitement and that happiness. So I was filled with so much happiness. I changed how I presented myself, as I told you earlier on. The way I dressed, I believe that a father needs to dress a certain way. These kind of jeans were thrown away, and I used to wear my progo
Serious?
because I felt like I'm
Shit,
becoming a dad for
man.
the first time. It was very exciting. So you becoming a dad for the first time, you get a phone call to umntwana sekazelwe, and you go rush to your own family like umntwana sekakhona. They all prayed for me. We all prayed. We were so excited. And I
Wow.
went there to meet my daughter for the very first time, and I was very, very excited. Daughter is born, and she's a precious little thing I've ever seen in the world. And
And you're growing up with brothers. So
yes,
now, even your mother, I'm sure she's very excited. Says,
exactly. Even you guys can't give me your makoti, but ninikeze umzukulu, you understand me?
Amen.
So we were all excited. Like I was very, very happy, and I lived with her for the earliest stage of her life. I was there. I lived with her, did everything, of course, together with her mother. It was great, even though we were separated and we were not seeing eye for an eye. But
Okay.
for the baby, we were all there, and she was named Bokgabo.
Okay. So the separation did not affect the relationship. Yalona Lengwane. Co-parenting was number one.
Co-parenting was a bit difficult because we separated in early stage where
Okay.
she was still very young. You understand? But the mother understood that I loved the little girl,
Oh.
and I understood that she's the mother in the end. So the way difficult is there. I won't filter it, and I won't even lie.
But peace sake was there.
But physics was there for the baby.
Yes.
So we tried to raise a little girl, and she was a very precious, beautiful thing, very bubbly.
Bokgabo
Bokgabo.
means, please tell us what does Bokgabo means and what inspired for the Mbitaka Bokgabo.
Well, she had a very, very nice granny, the mother of her mother, the granny.
So the
Yes, the granny gave her
the
a
grandparent.
name. The grandparent, yeah.
Grand alabatsiba lona man.
Coco from the mother's side. She's the one who came with this beautiful name.
Okay.
And I wanted Connie. Connie was my stepmother's name.
Oh, okay.
So the stepmother is the one that gave me a sister. Because my biological mother only gave us
Because
boys.
he had two
five.
sisters from Gokoni. Okay.
So my father had a second wife officially.
Yes.
Yes, officially, and then Begu Okon, Constance.
I guess
So
she
she
was
passed
also a
on.
nice woman.
She
If
was
you
very
could-
nice,
If you could
exactly.
give your kid
A stepmother's
because I'm like,
name.
"Aye, this is very new, but
Think
friends,
about it.
see, China don't
Exactly.
Some people like
exactly. And
honestly.
she had just passed on a year before my daughter Bukhab was born. So I was like, okay, my stepmother passes on. She was very good to us. Imagine you were a
So you
lady
want your daughter to be there
to carry
as
that
well.
name, you understand me? But because Bekile Mshimane ongaka hlawuli, so my name couldn't stand as the front. You understand me? But so it stood on as Bokgabo Connie. You understand me? So she was a very, very nice lady, and her being bubbly, it's because God knew that she wouldn't last for a while. It's fine. You can just give me somebody and take them in a short space of time. But how you take them away from me, you leave pain in my heart. You leave things that I'll never get past.
And no parents want to bury their own kids.
It's things that I see only in movies. I'm telling you. So what happened is that I got to live with my precious daughter. It was nice. She was the first and only daughter, and only child that I had, and it was very nice. Along with the mother, she had moved on with her life. I had moved on with mine, but we're still co-parenting. It was fine. So it was just this one day. I think it was on Monday, on the 10th of October, 2022, when I received a call from her grandma, and the grandma called me like, "Ivan, where are you?" I said, I'm home. Why are you asking? She said, "Okay, I'll call you back." I then suspected that there's something wrong because I seldom speak to them. I hardly speak to them. It's not every day that I get a call from them. And they were asking about my daughter on a Monday at 5 p.m. That was suspecting. So I was like, "I'm home. Why are you asking?" She said, "I'll call you back." 5 minutes later, the mother then calls me. Mewa Bukhab. Like, "Ivan, go guy. Like, I'm home. Why are you asking?" And then she started yelling. Like, Bokgabo is not here. Bokgabo is not here. Like, what do you mean she's not there? It's like, she's not here, she's missing. I remember I had a glass of water in my hand because I was by the tap. We use taps that are outside,
Yes.
townships and stuff like that. I was by the tap and the glass fell. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, the baby's not here. I dropped everything I was doing and then I rushed to them because we stay in the same place. It's all Waterville. It's a walking distance
Yes.
from where I live and where they live. So I walked to them, and when I got there was a crowd of people on the streets. And I could sense, you can just feel it that
Yeah,
something
well,
just
the
wrong.
feeling is.
You understand me? So when I got there and I could see the whole community was there and everyone was just looking for a little baby girl who's missing.
So they're giving maybe instructions. They got to get so that everyone can now go scouting for her.
yes. Bekagcoke sona, bekadlala nozibani bani bani. Uphi lo zibani bani bekadlala naye? Uzibani bani ula. And then the mother, Mewa Bokgabo, went to the house of the little boy who was said to be playing Lingwanak. And then when we got there, she asked questions to the little boy, and then she came out with her hands on the head and screaming. While with my friend, we're standing outside her house, and she's like, but bamthathile nomfana ozile and took Bokgabo.
Yo.
And it was that moment when we knew we were dealing with a kidnapper and not just a missing person. You understand me? And we all started panicking, and me being a very emotional person, I remember I shed tears right on the spot. But because Whiteville is a very, very small place, and Yonkinto Ila, police station is just here, it's a walking distance, Yonkinto Ila, and we all went to the police station and we went there, it's the case of the missing persons, and bas accommodator, bas receiver kahle, and the whole entire community of Whiteville was very, very supportive. But you understand me? So I knew even if little Bokgabo is playing in the house somewhere somehow, that person omphethe hostile but should know ukuthi bayakufuna manje because was all over the
Yes.
internet. I have a very good following on social media, and it's late now, and it was about 7 p.m. to 8. You understand me? That's a baby that's being said to be missing 4. So whoever, even if umntana udlala kwakho, you should know by the time ukuthi no, uyafunwa endlini wena hamba. But by her not showing up, I knew that something is very, very wrong. A police station must receive umphakathi wonke ubusugcwele laphayana, and we looked all over that night. And there were no leads. There was nothing at all until just one gentleman showed up at the park, and makafika laphayana, he had blood on his head. He was wearing his dog, his snake blood. And he asked what's happening. And when the community started asking him, why unegazi and why ubuza ukuthi kwenzakalani la, ubani wena, he started running away. And then we chased him some figure to a very informal settlement, but Mandleni. So Mandleni, it's a township, it's an informal settlement next to Waterville.
Okay.
So I'm trying to together with his family, which his family refused to allow us entry to search. And then there was chaos lapha and why not police singene search and against when I got and stuff like that. They were very, very unwilling, reluctant with whatever we needed. And we were very suspicious and we were getting very aggressive because you are our people. What are we facing? What are we going through? If you've got nothing to hide, allow us in to search with against
Did they allow you to have umntwana at least? Because
now
they don't want you to come inside.
Yeah.
But this guy, did they allow him out of the house with us face?
Not really. He was within the yard, but in a fence in Kulapan. So they were talking as a family, but criminals. You understand me? Until we saw policemen passing, because remember to Umparatic Pen looking for answers. Not even a single police officer was there. The police were just passing a freeway, and then they saw a crowd of people, and then they decided to come and check out against Sakalan. Then the police begged them, please allow these guys to come and search. Sangena search, Savula, whatever. We don't even know what we're looking for. What
But
we're looking for. We were just looking, and nothing really happened. You understand me? We searched the whole entire night. It was Monday, the 10th of October. And then 2 a.m., I can say which I tried to go on to sleep at home, but there was no sleep at all.
Oh, you couldn't.
Was the following day, looking at my phone, thinking what number missed calls or to look at there was still nothing. Until 7 a.m. in the morning, Mewa Bokgabo calls me and say, look, there's a camera lapayan. Could you be kind enough to come and check? Because someone was being identified. Please come see if you're Mazda of Anana. Then I rushed there. Yeah, I rushed there. When I got there, I can see the interaction. My little girl is walking this side. This gentleman is this side. You understand me? She's bumping and happy. She was led on. Yeah. She was led on.
As a baby child,
as a baby child, a 4-year-old. I mean, come on, it's just 4-year-old. You do whatever I ask of you. Do you understand me? And then I went to view the footage and I realized it's Muslim. And then his pictures, and due to my big following on social media, I started putting his pictures up on social media, and then they went viral, and everyone started looking for him, and he started running away from where he stays because he stays in the Dal Park. Like I said, Wattville is a very, very small township that is within. Ngapa, Dal Park, Netambo. On the other side, Nemandleni, where the gentleman ran away. On the other side, there's Actonville. On this side, there's Litchville. It's easy for people to say, we know this guy. But by the time his pictures went viral, he started running away from home. You understand me? And then he got away, and then we focused ukuthi like
Sonomntwana.
sama kancane ngayo. We stashed, and then on the same day I was viewing footage, not very long, kwangena phone call ukuthi eTambo, there's a foot, in fact a leg, that is being found.
So I'm thinking foot as in istratul.
Yeah, I'm talking about a leg now.
Yes.
The whole entire leg. There's a leg etholakalayo eTambo. Pants elivelayo. So there's a lady who's busy cleaning up laphayana, and then kunenyawo elivelayo laphayana makalibona, and then she started screaming and alithi ngomphakathi ukuthi kunenyawo elivelayo anizongibonisa ukuthi ngenzakalani la. And that's when we had a whistle eWattville ukuthi guys asine Tambo, like I told you iTambo is a piece of white. It's like Wattville Tambo, just a small section. Then we all rushed there, and when we got there, govela abo bones, the toes, and not the whole entire thing. So mina mangifika lapha, and the mother was before me. Bafike kuqala, and she was screaming and crying on the floor. So me coming there and seeing umama umntwana akhala lapha, and I can already imagine ukuthi
So the toes
my child.
were the child's toes,
Yes.
not your child. Then I can also say,
Yes.
but what you want to
Yes, yes.
So the mother's actually crying because now she knows who this is might be my
could
daughter.
be, yes. So nama ngifika lapha na ngiyabona vela bobhonsi, but now remember ukuthi there's a person angeke uvele ugophe lapha, kufuneka ama officials. You understand me? So we had to wait kufika amaphoyisa lapha, kufika ama official abantu abazogubha lapha thoroughly and lawfully, and then they got there, and then bese kugcwele vele yazi umphakathi. You understand me? And then,
And like you said, it's a small town.
exactly, daga bafika lapha, and then you only find out ukuthi it's inyawo,
Only the leg.
only the leg. And then they told us, Tina Slashlega, we have to now do a DNA for this leg to see because once they do the DNA, they'll have to do with me and the mother, and then to see if it matches. Okay, fine. Obviously, we were not fine, and you can imagine as a person which we had a night before and the day after. With me, I was just putting 1 and 2 together.
I'm sure you already knew it. This is
I felt it. That's why I was just out of control with my emotions. I felt it. So while we were there, because the things were around 11 a.m. and then about 3 p.m. while we were still there, because it was a lengthy process, they came running to us, and then when we got there, it was like, those dogs seems to be barking and eating something that appears to be a human. So now the whole crew and the whole crowd that was there, including our officials, they now leave the scene and Bakichimelanga. Itambo is gone. Itambo is one thing, is Wattville.
Yes.
It's just like maybe 10-meter distance from here today. It's an open field like on the board. So the cops ran to the scene, and we all followed as well. And then Maspela Pan, and they put the crime tape on my post and everything, and they couldn't allow anyone to get close to there. But because and then they asked me, could you try and come and identify his body? And I said yes. And bear in mind, I've never.
You had to be strong.
Yeah, I've never seen a dead body before. Even when it's my relatives, I've always refused.
And this is not just.
But I had to. So I went there, and I told you, see, my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, Mewa Bokgabo,
Yes,
has already moved on, right?
Yes.
And so have I. So I spoke to the guy, boyfriend, that guy, brother, because obviously you are involved in my daughter's life as a stepdad. Let's go identify the body. It was okay, let's go. And then we moved on, Basbalilama crime tape, and then we looked at that body and it was beyond recognition. It was beyond recognition because the body had no hair. The hair was removed. And that time I remember she had a very big long hair. The body had no eyes. The eyes were removed. The eyes were removed. I'm fine, I'm fine. And that body had no legs. So it was very hard to recognize the umzimba bombone lapha, and it was bent acid. So the person was trying to destroy the body with it. So
Destroying evidence.
yeah, there was no sign with that could be hair. And pieces of hair, you could see them around the pants. You could see that hair was being cut. So the stepfather said it was Aksuwe. And I said Aksuwe as well. I was adamant, but didn't look like hair.
Like in denial.
I was.
But in ngaphakathi you can feel
I can
ukuthi
feel ukuthi something is wrong. Angeke ulahlekelwe today and tomorrow you'll find something like that.
and I think now she's there, she's actually leading you ukuthi here I am.
Yes, it was.
Finding me.
So the body was abantu who were there, the officials said to us, "Ukuthi okay, sharp, what is the DNA of this body?" And we are also required tomorrow to go for a DNA
And
so
the
they can
leg
match.
as well. Donkey.
Yes. So we had to match our DNA together with the corpse that is being found there. And we went, but before that, on the same day, we went to, because Womuntu that was raised in a tradition, as much as my mother is a Christian, a very, very strong Christian, but my father was practices siko. So we are trying to balance that as we grow up. Okay, ubaba wenza lokhu, umama wenza lokhu. So nami nginalo lesakhe lesiko lokufuna ukubheka izinto ngendlela yesiko.
And they do anything else.
And I would do anything in situation manje.
Even if you're a Christian, I think whoever comes and say no Caesar, you'd go.
Exactly.
No Caesar, because you're desperate, you want answers.
Exactly. So we went there and someone came to me and it's like, I know, unomuntu oyenza ispili. Spill like is in a mirror, you are able to see the events that transpired with the kanjani. But not only that, you'll also be able to see everything that's ever occurred in Brinia. Okay, sharp, mhlawumbe ubaba ushone kanje.
So it takes you back, shows you
Takes you
everything
back,
that you must
exactly, yes. Yabo, mhlawumbe upuleng wenza kanje ebusuku mangilela. You see everything there. So I was warned ukuthi okay, sharp. I'm going to spill, and then spill you'll be able to see things. But chances are you might not come out normal. Abanye bavuka sebahlanya. You need to be brave, girl. You might go there and see what you won't tagata. Or when you are asleep, umama kwenza kanje kanje. So it's not easy to spill. You see everything there.
Nabantu abathastayo.
Yonke into, yeah.
So it's actually going somehow you are going to, it's going to destroy you. Maybe your relationships, maybe.
Exactly. So I refused in the yes, Billy, and she then said to humble Bonomont. There's someone that she trusts, like same whatever. Yes. And then we went to see the person, and then the person was very, very accurate, and the person was very, very like was not lying. Without even knowing us. He was teasing. He told us late. And then we begged him, the reason I say this is because Sasa and I don't want to be interfering with investigation. And we begged him. And then that person told us, it's okay, sharp, I'll help you guys. But I tell you what, you want to know if the corpse that you found there, or what? I tell you what, I didn't hesitate or anything, like that. And then I remember burst into tears, and then
it was a difficult.
It was very difficult because I'm learning now. I'm learning DNA. It's okay, sharp. Sasa, njoba kuyilangeli kanje kuyi-Wednesday siya ku-DNA and then DNA is gonna take days but still after. He told me right here and there, whatever you're looking for, that body you found there, oh yeah. And I see 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you go and look lapha ngasedamini, there's a big dam eWatville laphayana. That's where everything occurred. Bamthatha ePark umntwana, bahamba naye, baranda baya edamini, and then they did whatever they did with her edamini. Because that prophet guy, he sees long trees. He sees amanzi amakhulu, and he was not diving. He told us straight ukuthi uye and ngibona lento le yenza lapha edamini. And if you go back to the dams ubona amanhluzi khona into ozoyithola. He sent us back there sahamba sayofuna, but obviously sesifuna sesinethunyana ukuthi khona sizokuthola sisafuna thoroughly. We went back there as a family sacheck sangatholi nix, but a few days later my person and whoever the dogs went there bathola amabro umntwana, as the prophet said ukuthi yonke into enzayo lapha bazithola amaphosa and everything. And that's the tragedy of my life, which the media, everyone, you guys call it a story. It's a tragedy of my life that I will never get over.
Never.
And that's what I went through. You know, you have a father who's being murdered in Mhlabeni.
Now you have a daughter.
You have a daughter who's being murdered. Why don't you just become a killer yourself? What's stopping me from just being a killer? Ngizokhuluma noGod when I get there. Because I have my own people who's been killed just like that. Umzali nomntwana. What other pain can you bring me? So I'm trying to distract myself. There's no healing from this entire 2022 to 2025. Now it's 3 years. I battled to healing in the Bokgabo Baba from 2024. I can think what the overshadowing into mntana. I was still battling my, even if it's 10 years and Khalid Baba, I still cry until against all umntwana.
So nambona umntana omncane ontombazana
your firstborn
ophapayo or that energy wona yena.
So you my sister, what the public doesn't know, because now I'm very, very much praised for the work that I do, for my personality, but we're breaking inside and no one sees that pain because we preserve and we present a different character of a happy guy, a strong guy. But when you're on your own, it kills you and makes you want to become a bitter person. You understand me? So because the people were there for me during that time, they were there for me. There were calls, they were supporting me emotionally and everything else. Then I started this thing that I'm doing all the charity work, I'm giving back to the community, and I'm trying to distract myself and to thank whoever, because I can't pinpoint you to Pulem, it's you. My brother, it's you. My brother, it's you who were there for me. I don't know who was there for me. I just know that people were there for me. You understand me?
And others even not from your community.
Exactly.
We just saw South Africa, we can say that.
Exactly. You understand me? So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I've had a lot of questions with, wow, it's so, bro, you have a reason to point at a gun and just kill people, but you were doing this. I'm doing it because I'm trying to thank them. At the same time, it keeps me busy from thinking about myself and everything. But what makes me more angry is the fact that this little baby girl did not get any justice. That's what makes me a very, very angry person and a bitter person. You understand me? Even though I'm in control of myself, because I remember the first year of my daughter's passing, I went on and bought a gun. I bought a gun. I wanted to avenge myself. But then I see, Wuti, there's more to life than actually what I went through. I can change someone's perspective. I can impact someone's life in things really good. As I've been starting talking to people, Wuti, people that are going through the same thing, even though myself, I do not have any concern. Exactly. Now I need some of that. That's why it's very difficult for me to tell the story without even shedding a tear. Like, it brings back your thing. If you ask me how I'm doing about this, I'm coping because I avoid. I'm not talking about it. I'm not thinking about it. I avoid. Even when I look at my daughter's pillow, the character's pillow, I look at it once and pay. I don't want to think about it.
And at the very same time, you don't want to remove it. You feel like you are removing it.
Exactly. I'm for the memories, okay, like deleted or anything of
that doesn't exist.
Exactly. So it's hard. And what makes me putting easier to people like you and talk about it, even though I know it is going to affect her emotionally, it's because I also want justice. Me talking to you right now, me talking to the media, me talking to everyone, is to remind you to justice law. When this guy was caught and arrested,
The suspect,
the
one that ran away,
and they was then caught, it's because he had pending cases of a rape of a 9-year-old girl. So in Tebeka years, and he was restricted to be in Wattville in the first place.
but he was there.
But he was there. And open my case is similar to that of my daughter. But when you get to the court, but he was coerced, meaning he was forced, it was beaten up for him to confess.
If you say that.
To confess. You understand me? But the confession I said now, to confess it.
But you've got evidence. Camera.
Yes.
There's a video that shows this guy.
Yes.
Yes. Though ngoba video iyophelela somewhere ngeke usabona ukuthi
yes.
And the video did not work in the court.
It did not work. That's exactly what the magistrate said. Yes, we see umntwana and the accused walking side by side, but you can't really tell which name. But tell me, magistrate, that guy was walking side to side umntwana. Akana case yabantwana na. Is he restricted to be in the area now?
What was he doing?
What was he doing? How can the child jump from La Helakon? Oh, okay, down, I jump, side to side. A criminal.
With the same record.
And then he was restricted to be in the area. And now, the guy, there's not sufficient evidence, and he was coerced, he was beaten up by my police, case, blah, 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 blah. Confession. And his confession was so fruitful. He had so much. If we had followed up to a confession, which I personally believe it's just a puppet. He's a kidnapper, just takes up and ritualist. So,
do you mind sharing with us the confession?
The confession, when he was telling to the community, is that umntwana umthathile wahamba wamisa kuphi edamini, which is what the prophet said. Wamisa edamini wamshiya laphayana wathi uyabuya umntwana imala, and then he left. He's now twisting his story asafuna ukukhuluma the truth, but he confesses ukuthi uthathile umntwana and left her by the dam, which I then read and understood to myself, the ritualist or whoever, and then they got into an argument born amongst themselves, because when he was found by the police, he had blood.
This guy?
Yes, he had blood in the cut. Because of money. Okay, now I'm my money. Then he confesses that. To the police, he then tell them the whole story, which was not read a court, but a confession. So many years and so forth. But that was not then entertained a court because it was coerced. Do you understand me? So what they're telling me and telling to the whole nation, Umfana is not guilty. He's a free man. He's got nothing to do. No.
Are you saying to us as South Africans, as the world, the guy is got free and walking freely, extracting as we speak?
I would put it that way, but fortunately, he had a pending case of a rape of a 9-year-old.
Okay.
So this case were amalgamated, were put together. He then got arrested for the rape of a 9-year-old. At the very same time, we were pursuing a case of Bokgabo. He got a life sentence for rape of a 9-year-old. That other 9-year-old. But he was acquitted of all the charges regarding my daughter. So what does that tell you? It tells you that my daughter's killer.
There's no justice.
There's no justice for me. So if I'm not doing whatever I'm doing, I must just take my pistol and just go out for the killer.
So he's currently under custody now?
He's in prison. He's in prison for other case. But who's been arrested for my daughter?
No one.
And I have this undying image of my daughter's lifeless body. And I know who did it because I know he's involved. He's got people working with him.
Obviously.
I know.
So on the confession, he didn't mention any of the people that he was working with, the Inyanga or Sangoma that he's selling the parts to.
Kanjani, because his lawyer withdrawn from the case because he said, I'm not going to deal with this. This is disgusting me. And big applause to the guy. He's a human. It's like,
He couldn't defend.
He
He couldn't defend. Yes.
Yes. Got himself a lady, disappointing number one. A mother should know how it feels like to defend someone who brutally kills a girl like that. Got himself a white lady to represent him in court. And she was very good, I must say.
And the lady was there to represent all the other cases as well.
Yes. That's when he was found guilty of the 9-year-old case, but acquitted of everything regarding my daughter. So I'm sitting here as a father who's lost a child like that, and the killer has never been found if they excuse him from the case. And so
can you imagine how you're feeling?
The prosecutors, the police, the investigating officers, they're just not in contact with me, which then makes me feel the way that I feel, let down by the justice system of this country. I must just be like the law-abiding citizen.
So Casey Kwetu, as we speak.
It hasn't been close when I speak to that guy, because I constantly talk to him like, bruh, what are you telling me? Just keep saying, relax, conscious of toilet. But nothing has happened. There's no communication from their side.
You must be the one that makes communication.
I must be the one that's exactly. So it's very sad being me. I portray this very, very brave character to the public, but no one knows you're dying inside until you take a rope and you hang yourself, and they think we didn't know he was suffering.
I don't know if I'd be wrong to ask, how is the mother doing? I know she might be feeling the same like you, but is she strong? Is she? I'm a mother. I'm a woman, and I can't bear to think about that woman there. How is she? Yes.
I think when my daughter passed on, we were not in good terms with the mother.
Yes.
And one would have hoped Hori, this situation young one would somehow bring you guys close,
yes,
all together. I don't know if I should say fortunately or unfortunately. It hasn't happened that way. We are still distant. We barely talk. We barely communicate. We barely check on each other. I think it's everyone for themselves. She has moved on with her partner, and so I have moved on with mine. And we barely check on. We don't check on each other at all.
So you don't know if she also
I don't know how she's
counseling or she doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't talk at all. We don't talk at all. That's what makes this whole situation difficult, because I strongly believe at times like this, we should be coming together for that little one who's just laying in there.
Yeah, with you involving the stepfather like that, I think it was very brave of you, and you did a beautiful thing. So I was asking because I thought you guys probably did have a mutual relationship, even if you have broken up, because I don't think you would have trusted or believed in that guy. Remember now what you did to that guy, you did what you do to your brother. So that's why I actually asked this question. I was hoping you'd tell me, we talk, we are together in this, trying to fight this together.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are situations whereby you just had to drop your pride and accept the reality. And when I asked the guy, identify we were not in good terms. But because the situation it affects you, it affects you indirectly, it affects me directly, or vice versa.
Yes.
Do you understand me? So I was happy that he was more than willing as an and we had to put our differences aside. And then we worked together towards the situation. It's just so sad to see, even afterwards, even after what we were going through, even after when we don't even have justice, we still don't see eye for an eye. Everything just seems cool. They look at me and think it's okay. It's all that. maybe, just maybe I look at them and think it's okay, nabo,
There's nothing wrong.
ngempilo. You understand me? There are times whereby, ngeyi-12 kaJanuwari, we have to go to the cemetery, umntana alalele khona, it's her birthday. Mhlambe ngifika lapha and I do whatever I need to do, ngithenga whatever, blow,
Flowers,
whatsoever, you understand? Maybe I get there and already they were there.
Uzobona ngamablomu.
Ngizobona ngapha. Or I get there, go rough lapha, into enzeka nami ngenze. Like that's just not on. It's times like that where we should be communicating senzana. Do you understand me? There comes the 10th of October, anniversary yakhe yokushona kwakhe. I'm thinking and I'm talking to my friends and this so. I'm thinking I want to go to the park, Bokgabo Park, which was then named after her.
Yes.
Yeah, you understand? I want to throw in a small thing, niggas abandon, because that's what I do now. And when I get there, I'm thinking I have my shelter and when you look to the side, now it's just not healthy and it portrays us as abantu ababhedayo emphakathini.
And the tombstone yasebenza kanjani? Where you guys then Bambi said, or you just said I'm buying a tombstone, or she said I'm buying a tombstone?
That's a very, very good question. I must commend you. Because remember, this news, a little girl, attracted the whole nation. There was a lot of attention coming through. Fortunately, from my end, or media, I'm actually a radio presenter right now.
Yes.
So I was used to your cameras, to your interviews. I was used to everything. I was interviewing people there where I came from. But the story, Ska Little Girl, brought in a lot of attention to some people who were not used to that. So for them, I think it could have been a minute of fame or some sort, you understand? So, but not this one coming up. When your Panyaza Lusufi came, visited situation,
yes,
I was not part of it. I had to learn about it, go media. When their funeral was decided, I had to learn about it, go media. When their memorial service was held, I was not part of it. It's only the public who said, oh, poor Irvin. When the public started fighting on my behalf, that's when everyone started to consider me.
Sure.
So, even when the pamphlets came out informing the public, it came from their end. And reposter, I was then reprimanded. Why even I posted it was supposed to be the other side that posts everything and everything. I was more of a guest into my situation. It's a very, very situation.
So much put you through to this trauma. I don't know how you are dealing with it, I must say.
I lived through it, and I think it's time now I accept about what's proud, strong. I think I am, given everything that I went through. This one, I think I am. So
the tombstone is there, everything is done. Just that.
Me now, I just had to see.
Guest.
Do you understand me? Because now you guys were there. Nifaga ama nations, your ministers were there. So akusinto beyidinge izandla zabantu aba irrelevant, because everyone was just there. Do you understand me? So I was being told in the end, I had to say this to the public, but I was just being informed Nami. Do you understand me? But when this whole thing started, because of my following, it went back. I was in the forefront there, younger into. So when you guys started giving much attention, your media, you can name them, the big brands of media, the media houses in the country, all the even international ones were there. So I was not needed to me.
I think sometimes that's one of the biggest challenges and problems, if I could say, eslangana now, like South Africa or everywhere else. When something happens, I had to ask about the mother who's not here. Everyone wants to think about the woman. We forgot ubaba. Lo baba lo ke wahlala nomntanakhe, lo baba lo yazi the relationship namanje bazongitshela ukuthi there's a philo endlini eyakhe. I'm sure ukuthi leyo philo yenzwe akhona aphila. That alone tells you ukuthi how much of a great father and how much you loved umntanakho. But thina we forget sikhalela umama. So I think in this case, this is what happened. The hands uye walolwa yi-community, awulolwanga labo bantu bebeza laphayana abopanyaza, because abopanyaza wona they were there ukuzokhonsola umama, barane politics and everything else, because not every time mabeza because abanazi, but sometimes it's just for a campaign and everything else. So I think that's what really happened to you, and we do need, as umphakathi, as South Africans, guys, ukuthi let us learn from this. Let us stop forgetting ngamadoda. Let us stop forgetting ukuthi how important they also mean. This man says, I called the stepfather of my kid to come and help me identify this body. But at the end of the day, this guy was actually there as a guest in everything else. Sometimes, for peace sake, I'm now talking to South Africans and everyone else. I'm not only talking about relating ustori sakhe kuphela, but everywhere else entweni ezenzakalayo. I wish ukuthi singafunda from this story ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sibambisaneni. We are talking about a little girl lana who wishes la akhona, I'm sure ukuthi kube ne peace in everything else. La khona I can say lo mntana mhlambe wamngelile. She knows I can never come back. Should we have those abantu laba bathi bayaboniswa, maybe one can come and say to us, umntwana makasekakhuluma uthi bathina ama-mediate abodlozilami guys, angafika umntana athi baba I'm at peace, baba ngirathi nginogogo, or baba nginomkhulu. But umntwana cannot find peace because my father does not have peace, my mother does not have peace. If I could just see these two right, I am not saying buyelanani mama no baba. I was, even when I was alive, but I lived with it. You both loved me, you shared me accordingly kahle. Azange nginitshale mina. Why sengasekho emhlabeni mele kubeka so? So sometimes guys, let's not forget which is not only about us. So not only good story lazy, and I do not think ukuthi baba is saying this to embarrass the mother. We apologize should you feel ukuthi ke na mama signathela amakhona. This is not our intention, but now we are also educating because there's situations, even if anyaka zafane nale yenu, but there's situations as a leader nizithole senihamba indlela efanayo at the end of the day. Put your story. I don't know. What would you like to say? Please tell South Africans the help that you need from us. What justice? I don't think there's any justice ongayibeka usho kahle ukuthi ngifuna kube so kube so kube so. But what would you like to say?
Well, 2022, it's for the 5th of 2025. That's in April, if I'm correct. There's minimum communication from whoever operated the case, and therefore you leave me no choice but to trash the trees in the forest and turn this land into dust. I thank you.
If we can, to my producer, just have a minute and dedicate it to I thank you. This was one of the most emotional podcast interviews that I've ever had, guys. Yes, I love my job, but it's not nice to come across such situations. I hope we have learned from this. I hope there'll be justice for this guy. As he is, he will also try to assist where we can. If we need to help with the lawyers, we will try our best to do that as well. If we need to meet them halfway, we will try our best, just so that this guy, his family, and also the mother, they find justice and closure. As a parent, you feel I failed you because I was not there to protect you. Then again, I failed you because I could not get justice for you. This man will be blaming himself for the rest of his life. Guys, let us stand up and find justice for Bokgabo. We've seen cases asukubayo 20 years later. There's a guy who told to uboshwa uthi uboshwe into engekho, case yakhe isukumile. Why not this one? But case iqala libone. We can do this as South Africans if we could stand up and hold hand. For those who'd like to assist on this case, who'd like to help in any way, you can contact us as EEZiki. We've got our numbers on the screen. We will share his details with you as well, should you need to speak to him in person. Should you have any help, any kind of assistant, do not undermine the assistant otwenunayo. Doesn't matter how small it is. Bring it forward. You'll never know what it can do, because it's the smallest things that change and change the biggest things. So we are appealing to you, South Africans out there. We are appealing to you as a nation, not only as a country, to say, please come forward. Let's find justice for Bokgabo. Let's find justice for Ukoni. And let's find justice for this family. This was EEZiki. Thank you so much. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and follow us, and comment. Thank you so much. Have a good day.